It's the perspective errors. It's the perspective errors and... Let me try to get a... reference board so I could try to fix the perspective. See, this one's a little high, but I feel like I can use it. So. I think this one would be good. I think the curve of the street is actually like there, like it's not a flat surface. That's something interesting I don't think I've ever noticed. I think that's just like interesting. I don't know. Really BTFOs those flat earth theorists. If the earth is flat, how come the street is curved, huh? Let me grab some stuff off Google very quickly. See, this one's a little high. If he's cutting him at the stomach here, that means he's either raising the camera or he's hella tall. Maybe he's just far away. I don't know, like more and more I feel like I don't understand perspective enough. I just don't... I don't get exactly why things are the way they are. See, this one's a little low. Let's see, he's... The other thing is that most photography that I'm like looking at for busy streets and stuff is really boring. That's another thing. That looks like the right thing that I'm going for. Hey, Fire Onyx, what's up, dude? Just cruising for some references. Trying to... What the heck is that? Oh, yeah. Hasidic Jews. Yeah. They're like so kooky in those costumes. Let's see, Grand Central. The lens is doing something here. You see this? Like it's bending everything into the center. I'm not sure I like that effect. It's a lot more exciting to look at than just like regular people walking around flat. I think one of the things that I'll definitely use is crowds I'll probably bash in some, just like, okay, and now there's crowds there. I'll just bash them in and then figure it out later. I will have to eventually like screw with the figures and stuff too. Yeah, what's up, dude? How's it going? Probably just use their shapes. I think the way that my figures are positioned is very predictable, so I'm either gonna kill some of them or do something with it. Nicely. Yeah, I've been pretty good. Some of these ideas are really stupid. I figured like one of them could be landing. That would be okay, but then the other one has to be docked then, like, because you can't both be landing at the same time. That's not how any of this works. So I'm probably gonna get rid of this one, this ship here. Gonna drop it down low as a landed ship already. Yeah, just working, you know. HR is gonna come in and talk to us about beating on these crackheads today, I think. The incident. Man. Honestly, I don't even really want to have anything to do with them. I just want to, like, put items in the right place or some shit like that. I don't want to do, or cashier or do any of those things. I don't really want to do, like, actually kind of a neat shape for a ship, I think. Neat little design here. The rest of it could be city. Just need to drop that value down. I should probably look for a better job, I think. I still have like a whole year of just like floundering before we probably go somewhere else. So that's a year I could be working somewhere that's not the hood. So maybe I should do that, try to get out of there. Trying to get out of there. Maybe I could walk dogs. I hear that's like a really good profession right now. You get to make your own hours. Dog walking. A bunch of apps like Rover. Show up, walk a dog, 15 bucks an hour. Sounds not bad. No job security though. And like I could do that. I just need something part-time where I'm not getting violence thrown my way. Do you know what type of computer do I need to use Photoshop smoothly? Most computers will be fine. You don't really need a really high-end setup. Generally, Photoshop will function with your onboard video card if you didn't have a dedicated one. And the only thing it really uses is RAM. It's a RAM beast, so whatever you get, you're gonna need, you know, 16 to 32 gigabytes of RAM if you want to draw at high res, which is kind of where all the cool stuff happens. So, but yeah, you can run Photoshop on a worse setup. You don't need to get a crazy setup at all. Should I buy a Mac? Man, I hate Mac setups so much because they're so expensive for the nothing that you get. I spent, I don't know, like 30, no, I was literally like spending like 4 minutes trying to set up a build where it was like, for 3 grand, what can I get for 3 grand? And I ended up with some crazy box, because that's what they want for their top end model, man. It's a Mac. Top end model is like 3 grand or some shit like that. I don't even understand how they got that number. I guess because it's a laptop, you have to be like, oh, well, it's a laptop, so, you know, 3 grand for a laptop is like really good. Don't get a laptop. Laptops are gay. So the MacBook Pro has, what was it, like an 8770 processor. It's like, all right, that's pretty good, you know. That's pretty good. What else you got? Got a really nice screen. Okay, that's nice. No dedicated video card, if I remember correctly. So anyway, my build was like a $700 monitor. I somehow fit a $700 monitor into the 3 grand. I also had a 1080 GeForce. I had a an i7, 32 gigs of RAM, because like why not? 2 terabyte hard drive and a 256 SSD. That was like, it's like a dream machine. Like you could run on that for years. I feel like another 5 to 10 years without even considering an upgrade. Unless, you know, there's a real breakthrough. I don't think there will be though, because like that's not how that happens. It's just gonna be like, even if there was a breakthrough, they wouldn't, like, probably it would be competing with existing products or some shit like that, so they probably wouldn't go for that. Release it 10 years down the line. Unless the competitors had it, at which point, yeah, maybe. Like if we suddenly switch to MRAM or something like that, like yeah, maybe you could argue that you needed a upgrade. Although magnetic RAM is like one of those things that's like been in development for like 20 years. It's kind of like this yeah, just Google MRAM. It's like a magnetic way of storing volatile memory. I don't know. It's something I read about like yeah, a long time ago, and I was like, this is awesome. I hope they make this at some point, and I don't think we've shifted off of whatever we, you know, SD RAM or just regular RAM. But yeah, that was like, if you had a major technology shift like that, then yeah, you probably wouldn't need an upgrade. But like anyway, so I built this box, just joking. Let me see if I can pull it up. I think I sent it to, I sent it to somewhere. Hold on. Oh no, I left the, yeah, hydrogen's digital storage, yeah, all of that stuff. Quantum computing, yeah. Oh look, we need a quantum processor to play Minecraft. And like, if you don't have one, you can't run at like the highest res, okay? You need to simulate the entire world all at the same time, alright? I don't even have like, friggin' hydrogen cooling, any of that. I definitely want some crowds in here. That's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna photo bash some in. I'm just gonna go with that. Stacking things on top of each other. I think that's what we're trying to do, is just make everything as small as possible. I believe in the last microprocessor was like 0.07 nanometers, some shit like that. I gotta look it up. I might be wrong there. I think that might have been a projected goal. Intel just released an NVMe SSD that uses quad level flash for real cheap. $100 for 500 gigs. Yeah, I think I included that in the build actually. Yeah, I was surprised to learn that SSDs dropped in price like considerably, because before, for 256 gigs or 500 gigs for an SSD, you would be paying like a lot of fucking money. I don't remember exactly because keeping the prices in my mind would be just futile, really. Let me see if I can I think I deleted this clip, but I went to, let's see, oh, maybe it's saved in, let me see, PC parts. Oh wait, no, if I do that, hold on, PC, yeah, I knew that would work. I knew that would screw me. Alright, yeah, this is the build that I made in like 30 minutes. Some kind of weird coolers, a Primo motherboard for $160. Like, I don't need this. I don't need any of this. This doesn't, like, you don't need like, you don't need this. But for when you're building with like 3 grand, 2.3 grand, that's like, I don't know, for me that's like crazy amount of money. I've never built a rig for what's it called, Team AMD. Get out of here. I buy cheap stuff too, to be honest. Yeah, I usually buy AMD because it's cheaper. It's just cheaper, that's it. I've switched to GeForce because it really does outperform. I've had a lot less problems with cooling with the GeForce. So yeah, but I've never built a setup that had a $439 video card. I've never done that. Like, I buy last year's video card for 150 max. That's not like, that's too much for me. I don't even know what I would do with this rig. Like, you can't, I can't even venture a guess. I guess play Crisis on Ultra, something like that, maybe. Releasing Navi next year. What I got was the look here, Samsung also has a 500 what's it called, 500 gigabyte drive out for like under $100. So that's pretty good. I was considering of getting this one just for me, because I need the space, but I don't know if I need a 500 gigabyte SSD. I was thinking of getting this one for sure, this to like 2 terabytes. That would help me so much, because I have 2 hard drives right now, and I think I'm up to 600 gigabytes. That's it. Vega is on par with price to performance with Nvidia right now. I see their benchmark, the benchmarking I feel like is not it's one of the best tools you have for deciding for what's called, like, the benchmarks for Nvidia cards and AMD cards are basically the same. The thing is that, like, when you play around with these cards for long enough, you're like, oh, okay, so this benchmark, you can't do this at all times, like cooling or just performance over time starts to suffer. And so it's like, what is that? What is this? Quadro Star. Is that gonna be a professional? This isn't like fair. I always I hate this, because it's like what they have. Literally what they have is a set of software which allows you to well, it's drivers. They have drivers which allow you to optimize for 3D, and they charge thousands of dollars for it. That's basically all it is. Like, the regular card, it's the same hardware, just different drivers, basically. It's like, that's what it is. Like, I've done a little bit of research on it now, and because this always used to piss me off, because it's like, why would anyone? And it's for corporations. It's for corporations that can afford it. They need to they need to render fucking Pixar movies. They have a set of these cards in a workstation, and they're rendering what's it called? They're rendering 3D or some shit like that. I don't even. It's not for like a regular person. It is literally if you're working for a studio that's doing just serious shit. Even then, I feel like they fucking just they outsource it. I think they just have like one of these cards, what are the Pascals? I don't know. Maybe a cheap Pascal for each one of the 3D guys, and then they might have one of these quadros for like overnight renders or some shit. I don't know. I feel like with cloud it's gonna be so different now, because you could do a lot of crazy things that you used to not be able to do. Might at some point have like servers which just do rendering, and you could just, I think you already have those actually. Just you send in the thing and they render it for you. Or you're basically using like a kind of like virtualization, but you just you log onto that desktop and you start rendering on it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know anything about this. I don't really care. I don't know any. I don't need this. But like my thing was like, what can I build a better machine than an Apple? Like the thing is that it isn't what's it called? It isn't supposed to be a laptop. But I was just wondering, like, if I'm paying this much for what can I get? And it's like a $700 monitor that's 27 inches and runs at 1440p. Like, yes, please. Let me fit that in. Also, anyone wants to buy me a birthday present, anything from here other than like the motherboard. It's like, yes, please. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, right, yeah, the cities. All right, yeah, okay. Got confused there for a second. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move this guy out a little bit. Let me see. Move him like over and make him smaller, I think. Because I now have like no mid ground. I have a background and a something like here, maybe. I think I will have to move some of the figures again. And then I'm still trying to figure out this composition before I try to commit. Yeah, it's like the start of the painting still. I have problems telling distance with perspective, I think. I always have this question, well, why is that way? Why is that size? You know, what's the thing that's driving that? I don't know. Yeah, for now it's gonna be really messy. I'm gonna try to get stuff out there, but yeah, like, I don't know. You don't need a complex rig to run Photoshop. You basically just need, you know, a standard processor of some sort. An i3 probably would be okay. Everything is super standard now. You don't need to do this like. Yeah, and like 16 or 32 gigs of RAM, and that's it. You don't really need much. So it's not like one of those things. Like if you were doing 3D, yeah, you would need like a maybe you could shoot for a workstation card, but at the end of the day, like that, I don't know. You just yeah, it's perspective. It's perspective and building perspectives. But like it I don't know. I'm confused about perspective still. I think I made these things a little small. Draw a square, then you make a line from the corner intersecting with some point to scale it down. That sounds like you're building a perspective grid. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, but I know. There's probably I mean, like if I planned out the image a little bit more, what I'm talking about is like my intuition for perspective is really flawed, and I don't understand why my brain doesn't, you know, process these things well enough. Since it's been a long time, I should be able to figure some of this stuff out, but yeah, but yeah, my intuitions for perspective are really bad. I'm not sure how you train that other than looking at maybe images for days, just trying to do studies, I guess, because I can intuit that some of it is really like off and wrong, but can't exactly. Just did a nice thing about perspective during some stream. Yeah, this is more of me just like angrily yelling at myself rather than seeking a solution. It's like, why can't I do this? Less than. Welcome back. Oh, so you missed like that whole conversation about PCs? Cool. I'm not redoing that. I guess you'll just have to rewatch the video. Here's what I'll do. I'll slam these figures into the midground a little bit, because they're too close to the foreground, and so I think that's causing me a couple more problems than I want to deal with. And it's getting back to that sort of aggressive perspective. At some point I'm gonna have to redo probably a Scott Robertson book. That's just too difficult. I don't know. Building perspective isn't supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be intuitive, and you're supposed to just make a horizon line, items that are above the horizon line you see more of the bottom of, and things that are below the horizon line you see more of the top of, and that's all that you really need. But whenever I try to place figures, whenever I try to hang figures on a what's it called, I always get these weird errors where it's like, well, how far away should this guy be, and how far away should this guy be, and like, when can this guy be really, really tall? What is, how do I make, you know, how do I make scale appear correct, even though it's completely falsified? It's not supposed to be right. So this guy is a giant, right? He's a super robot droid thing protector. So he's gonna be towering over everybody. There's another thing with sci-fi, you could do things like that, and it's like, well, that shouldn't be able to do that. Doesn't help in any way, but I remember the thing I was talking about. Let me see, what is that? That is a duplication grid. That's from Scott Robertson's book, but I'm sure someone else has also come up with that. That's a duplication grid for duplicating items in perspective. Yeah, I use that a lot. You can get that from you can get that from Scott or some other place. I'm sure Norling has a similar thing. I've seen it in Loomis's books too, but Scott gives like the better explanation of it and the better way of kind of dealing with it, I think. And so it's an incredibly useful tool. Just really not. I mean, I feel like if I redefine it, if I redefine some of these elements as boxes, and just use that. Like, it would kind of match up, but then it's like, but this thing is a giant, so like, what are these figures giant? It does apply. It's just that like you can use it to do that. But it's like it's not the tool that I would probably go with. Yeah, it's probably not the approach that I would go with. Oh, wait, hold on. What about this? Oh, no, my weapon disappeared. Alright, well. Well. I knew that was gonna happen. It kind of, because it does apply, but it's like it's just not it's not the right formula. It would be very unintuitive to use that formula, I think, to try to figure out figure scales. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you could use it. I'm thinking about it. Basic shadow under the dudes to show where they are placed makes it better. Yeah, maybe. Like, maybe. I'm definitely not at that stage yet where I'm gonna be, really putting in shadows. I'm still trying to figure out where they would be. It's good for flipping things. It's good for, like, if you have a a triangle here and you wanna make that exact triangle, right? How do I do that? There's ways to use it that way. It's like, okay, well, first I need to make sure that the box is the same size, and so you have that same size box. I'm doing it freehand, but usually I would ruler it. And then, like, from there, like, there's various uses for it. You could since it's so kind of all encompassing, you could solve the problem that I'm having with it. I think it might take a little while with that. Maybe. I'm thinking, why wouldn't I want to define these guys as boxes, and then just that's kind of how Loomis does it. If you read Figure Drawing for All It's Worth, he uses boxes to define figures, and then kind of draft scales like that. I mean, that is kind of how I do it. Let me think. Yeah, but that usually I use it for just duplicating things. Usually I use it for what's called. But since, like, again, perspective is kind of so all-encompassing, you can use the same formula to figure out these problems. But it's like using 2 plus 2 to figure out how to get to 5,768. It would take you a while. Usually, you would get there. The current problem is I'm not sure what the scale change is for this perspective for the what's called for the other objects, which is something you could solve with that formula. I think it's gonna take a while. Draw those boxes. No sips. they keep selling these weird coffee mugs. I don't give a sip. Like, who would buy this? It's not even a mug. It's more like a candle. You should do the math. I mean, like this should be this should be mathed out. I just like, I guess I'm being lazy. Being lazy and like, well, maybe I'll just get it, you know? Like, why do I have to do the math? Maybe I'll just like, hold on, let me try a couple things. Let me bash this in. Let me move this guy up a little bit. Change the scale here. Let me say that this guy's bigger than the rest of them. You know, all this nonsense. The problem is that my intuitive perspective doesn't work very well. And it's not a problem you can actually face. Hold on. Oh. Хорошо, все хорошо. Да, окей. Нет, не забыл. Просто поздно. Yeah, I figured it mirrors too much. Just like, hi. Okay. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. I don't know. I'll call you before if we do. Or if you're working, then like there's no point. But I'll let you know. We'll probably might not do it. No. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll call you tomorrow if we decide on it. Alrighty. Sure. No way. Yeah, I will. Beat them. Alright. Sure. No, it's all okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, cause I'm looking at some of these images, and I just like I don't understand why this guy is that much smaller than this guy. Like I don't intuitively understand. Like I understand that you can draw the line. Well, you could. It's possible. I just don't. I don't have the like. I could kind of tell that it's supposed to. But if you're using like, this is what it's about here. You're using like. Intuitive perspective. It's not super apparent to me. Closer to camera lens. Well, yeah, I mean that's no, I'm obviously he's farther away, but I'm like my brain doesn't calculate the what's called. This is like a complex question I'm trying to solve here, but like it's not obvious to me how to do this math exactly. It's somewhat obvious, but it's not at all. Like I can kind of tell sometimes, like, okay, well this guy should be a little farther away, this guy should be a little closer. With this lens, the vanishing point is, of course, no. I mean, that's always off camera. The way it works is that but like I feel like you're trying to explain like primitive perspective to me, and I'm trying to do something else. Like, I get it. I get regular perspective. But it's like, um... you can use a vanishing point anywhere on a horizon. Yes, you can if you're drawing something. But if... What's it called? If you're talking about like what is in reality happening, like that's not your eyes see in a certain way. They create that vanishing point. Or well, I guess it would just be in that on the horizon line there, and then it'd be like that. It wouldn't be. It's cool, but like I don't know, you can't really do this thing where it's just like I'm just gonna like put in 3 vanishing points here, and it's just gonna happen. And each one of these things has its own vanishing point. Like you can maybe, but like it's so much work. I don't know if I want to do all that. I don't know if I want to do all of that. It's a lot of stuff. Overcomplicating things. Classic. Classic. I don't know. I will probably just do it intuitively anyway. I just hate that I take so long on it, and I wish I could figure it out faster and things like that. And I wish I could like do it through other things other than just like comparing. Like this looks good, this looks bad, this looks good, this looks bad, this looks worse, this looks... I don't know. I'll just be using like references and trying to piece together some stuff. Maybe photo bash a couple of them in, try to like work around it. Work around these problems. But I do see that I'm not getting the things I want from the drawing. The perspective phase, it's just not happening. That's really what I'm complaining about. Like I wish it was working better. This is why I try not to complain. This is why. Oh, did my music cut out? Yeah, I had to talk to my dad. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I had to talk to him. I need to call more often, but like I'm so caught up with trying to figure out all this nonsense. It's all like just standing still. I need to Hopefully after I get part-time, maybe I can focus up more. That should be happening next week. They've hired a bunch of people, which is good. Really need more people. So they'll be able to let me go, I think. Part-time. That'll be good, then I can get more painting done. Still make enough for pizza and rent. Yeah, so far the solutions that I'm coming up with are like get a starter IT job. I don't know if those even exist anymore. Because it doesn't look like I'm gonna land some, you know, big paying freelance or some shit like that. Just like live out on that. That's probably not gonna happen. So I need something that's part-time, you know, that's not super dangerous. That would be pretty good. I work kind of like a little bit of security and a little bit of nighttime shift. in a bad neighborhood. Most of the time I'm just stocking shit out and what's it called, but sometimes you gotta tussle with fucking crackheads and them and their syringes and knives and shit, and then it's like I don't really want to do that. Not getting paid enough for that, so I don't know. I need to get like a job at some kind of like Trader Joe's or some shit like that, you know, where I don't have to defend merchandise. Not really interested in doing that. Yeah, so I don't know. When I'm part-time, I'll have more time to look for different work, I think. Some guy works security in a manufacturing place. Yeah. What's that like? Do they just come in to the factory? Fuck, dude. I bet they do. What are these people? They're just like going around. Anything that's not nailed down. That's about it. That's what I'll do. I'll draw in this line here, and then there should be no figures above that line. But yeah, I could believe that I'm overcomplicating perspective. I just, because I don't understand it all that well. All he does is lock and unlock doors. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good job. I like to be moving. If I can get a job where I don't have to look into one of their cheap, shitty screens, because they like buy the cheapest fucking things for their, what's it called? They ruin your eyes, man. They ruin your eyes. We'll talk about like blue light. those are the like if you're working retail, it'll fuck up your eyes way worse than Photoshop on your regular PC ever could. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it'll continue like that. I'll just be, you know, mashing things together, and then up until the point where I could just intuitively like, yeah, I'm just gonna put this line here and it's gonna work. Some shit like that. Up until that happens, I don't know what that's gonna look like. Shouldn't be anything too high here because it is maybe some shapes like this. Kiosk. But yeah, I'll be gently figuring out these perspective errors. Gently, gently. Docked spaceship here. I mean, that's kind of what I want from the composition, but I don't know yet. I feel like, yeah, that's why I like stocking shit out. It's, you know, it's busy work. You just put things in the right place, you know, something like that. I also like working with customers, since when you're on the floor, and I'm usually the only person on the floor, that means that I'm the only person that interacts with customers, like, period. And I like talking to people. I think it's cool. Got a lunch? See you soon. Good stream. Hey, thanks for coming by. I appreciate you. Good luck with that PC. I have to define his scale right. And I have to make sure that I also get kind of this. So yeah, I'm like piecing it together as usual. You know, a normal person would probably start doing perspective grids by now. But I just really love trying to use intuition to do math. I guess that's... You know, it's funny because I'm not good at estimating either. I always get the estimations wrong, but I still like to do it. Like if someone asks me a math question, I'm gonna estimate. I'm not gonna... I don't think a normal I mean like a normal artist. So a normal autist. Yeah, a normal artist would do a perspective grid. Absolutely. Hopefully I don't have to, because I'm... The only people that don't do perspective grids are like super autists, like Kim Jong-gi, for instance. He wouldn't do it. Like he'd... yeah, but you also have to get it right. You have to get it right. I think that's the key point there. I want to get it right. A lot of people don't really give a shit if they get it right. I want to get it really right. So I like a lot of people don't really even care about like it at all. Like that's not what I'm going for. Since when is an artist normal? Always. A regular autistic child thing on the internet. The artist is the child who survived, I read today, and I was like, huh, I am kind of childish, so maybe. So yeah, people who can do it, who can just eyeball it and get it right, they're like in the top 10 drawers of all time. No, but most people, most artists who are pros will just use grids and will use what's called, which is good because like you don't want to fuck it up. There's no reason to fuck up the perspective because of ego. All right, but for me, I just like what I really want to do isn't that. It's to be able to just like slam my face on the keyboard a little bit and come up with cool shit. And I feel like the only way to do that is to figure it out intuitively as I go. But yeah, if you just eyeball things, you're like spending more time doing it, which is why I don't want to do that. I want to do it. I want to have an educated opinion, you know? That's what I want, an educated estimate of where I'm going to put figures and how I'm going to decide these things. I haven't even tried to like really screw around with their anything other than like costumes. I haven't tried to give him like real gestures. Except this guy, he has kind of a gesture going on. His gesture is a bippity boppity, a boppity boopity, you know, classic Italian talking hands. A boopity, a boppity boopity boop bop boppity. You mean everything he draws has the anatomy of Rouge the Bat, or what? I'm not sure what Rouge the Bat is. Is that Rouge? What's a Rouge? Oof. That gets a yikes from me. I don't know. These pop culture references, they're just way over. It's a Sonic character? Yeah, that's probably why I don't know. Not a big Sonic guy. Rouge the Bat. Oh, this thing. I got someone on art group that has the anatomy of Rouge the Bat and doesn't even care about us trying to help him. I mean, those cartoons are meant to be like stylized. The anatomy is stylized. Cartoon characters, yeah, like for animation I feel like it's super super unimportant to get illustration quality or even what do you call that? As long as it works, you know, then it's like it works. Rouge the Bat. Boobs and thighs. Ass, titties. Ass and titties. Ass, titties, titties, ass and titties. Thinking of making this guy like here. Got an interesting shape to it. Pre-spot 21110 ready for service. Apparently, we tried so much to help them. He said that people were giving him bad vibes, so he had to leave the group. Rest in pastrami. Yeah, art critique is tough. I used to be really really interested in helping people out, but like it was like a case of the blind leading the blind, and so I stopped doing it. Only when someone asks. That's about it. Because honestly, I have a lot of stuff I want to do, and so I don't really have time anyway, and so 90% of the time, most people don't actually want critique, they want a butt pat, and so, like, that's so much easier. I could just give them that. The old compliment sandwich. Now I have Photo Basher back in, I think, at some point. Because, like, I think I had. I had a bunch of stuff on top of her, and so her. Anatomy is all wonky now. Don't learn anything from compliments. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know if... I'm not sure if you learn anything from critique either. Maybe. I feel like maybe. I don't know. I hope you do. I'm not sure though. Like, I just don't know. I learned a lot when I was, you know, getting regular critiques from places like Concept Art. I think I learned a lot. I'm not sure if I did. I'm not sure if I'm attributing, you know, time passing by and figuring things out. I think I did. I think I did. Critique is interesting. Hearing what someone else sees in your work. I do like opinions. I usually just, as long as you can take it, like, I don't know, like, I don't really send out my work for critique that much. I mean, I send it out to like a couple of friends and see what they say. But generally, I just like, I don't. Most of the time, like the problems that I'm facing, I'm either aware of and I can't solve. Which is like the worst thing. Izzy Medrano. I don't know who that is. Who that is. Let me copy paste that into Google. Let's see. Ooh. This guy. That's interesting stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Nice guy Izzy if he gives out critique. Very tight rendering. Freelance and IP developer. That's a nice title. I like that. Might steal that. I develop IPs. Been getting his tutorials on Patreon for a few years now. Yeah, I figure if you can get someone that's higher level, then the critique will always be just looking pretty good. It's usually difficult to solve those problems, and people have the best of intentions, but I don't know. I don't trust most people's judgment. Again, I have a couple of people that whose judgment I do trust, and so that's kind of, I think, the way to go. Is you have to have people whose judgment you trust, and then that's it. I don't have a DeviantArt. I'm a cool kid. Fucking Sam told me to get one, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll get one. Sam Peterson. I wonder if that guy's still around. I think I saw him post stuff on it's cool. I used to watch his streams a lot. Now I just like I have stuff to do. He's very consistent with his style. I don't think he's changed at all in past. How long have I been on Twitch? 3 years? Fuck, dude. Been on Twitch for too long. I have a DeviantArt and I don't update it too often. I gotta update more often. I haven't painted anything lately though, so. One painting I did finish, I'm not a big fan of. But I think I learned something from it. A couple things. So, not a waste of time. Where are the paintings that aren't challenges, Ixie? Where are they? Where are they? Inktober is upon us. If you need an Inktober challenge, why not just draw up Bowsette? Inktober Bowsette. Now you're getting the best of both worlds. Someone's already done that though. I'm not looking forward to adding lighting to this. What kind of lighting should I add to this, I wonder? I'm probably gonna do that at the end. Gonna make it a fucking... Oh, by the way, it's tilted, so you can't really do the perspective as much. Now it doesn't look so bad. Probably do something like that. At the end. At the end is probably when I'm gonna do that. It's like, oh yeah, this doesn't look bad at all. It's like, it's totally okay now. BetterHelp sucks. Some folks are digging through this, but even on the surface, things aren't quite right. What was I doing? Oh, right, I need the, what's it called? I need the image so I can photo bash it back in. What was I doing? That's okay. Come back when it's done. Come back when it's done, cause that'll be the fun part. Let me see. Photo bash this back in. Oop. Yeah, oh, what's that? Oh, that's a shadow. Okay. I was like, whoa. I think I actually like this color scheme, so I might mix in some of those yellows. Bad for a battery. I really like her face. It's gonna be a tattoo. It's supposed to be a duck. Loops, brother. I need the loops. Or a stork. I don't know. Those things usually go. Maybe. I don't know. I just felt like drawing something that was kind of tattooy, so. That's what I did. It's supposed to be a dancing swan. But yeah. Well. Yeah, sometimes I'll just experiment with these things. They don't always stick around. Sometimes they do. I like where it's going. This one, I don't know. It's kind of like not really what I'm going for. I was kind of looking like I was trying to do like um you know, like woodblock painty style. But I think I need to reference what one of those things looks like. Just a weird tattoo. We'll just leave it there for now, and then if I see a need to, I'll take it out. Most likely I'll have like a building there, so it'll be alright if it's not too description heavy. Something like that. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think it adds a lot of like a lot of what I want to see in there. Some kind of weird cultural element, some sort of technology, some sort of that type of thing. So I'll probably like hologram it out a little bit so that it doesn't look like it's right there. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff I want to get done. Ship, buildings. I want to lower this thing over here. Make the ground plane like, I don't know, something like that. If it's here. Likely I'll have buildings in this area too. Trying to maybe get them behind, or create overlap between that and that and the spaceship. It's just sitting back there, docked. And this one was just kind of landing. But yeah, I want to create a sense of scale, a sense of distance, a sense of depth, very heavy depth. Hopefully I'm able to do that. Oh, you know what would be cool if I could have like some sort of actually yeah, some sort of like mechanism that holds the ship in. I was thinking about like what would hold the docked ship, you know, something like that. Because the point I think ultimately is the gonna have like docked ships. Sci-fi stuff. figured out how I'm gonna distribute value all that much just yet. Where my light sources are gonna be. It's hanging good. Hanging good. Yeah, most of the value is like the same value, other than like the fixer lines. So I'll be doing that. I'll be doing that for a while. Human Resources wants to come in and talk about the incident. Now I have to explain why I kicked this dude while he's on the floor, and why, you know, trying to knock him out. That's why I did it, cause his homeboy is coming up, and then it was gonna be a 2v2. I tried to hold this dude, hold the door so that he couldn't get the fuck out, but the police took too long to come. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I should prepare a little bit, like prepare a speech. Like, well, I didn't mean to kick him in the face. It was an accident. Yeah, I don't know. I hope he sues, so that we could like, oh, so you're copping to grand larceny? All right. Cool. Oh, these guys need 3D forms. Right now they're all kind of flat. That's because there's no lighting, and not even a general lighting. I have like an idea that I was gonna have like, street lamps. Let's see. So I have my composition, at least, I think, hammered out. Like before, the composition was very, very boring. Now it's a little bit more exciting. Go back even further. Like before, it was very, very, very boring. You just had like some people, a dock, and spaceships. That's what I was gonna do. I was like, okay, how about a hologram? I could use that lighting. How about a perspective? More overlap. Characters in there. How about a whole crowd of people? And then finally, we're here. So that's the composition. No. I'm still like screwing with the perspective. Still gonna be doing that. I'm still not sure what kind of lighting I want to implement. Kind of maybe some kind of like top down nightlife, nighttime lighting. No, not iPhone. Why would it go for iPhone? Yeah, it must have like street. Do is like the classic. Probably gonna adopt a more classic. Classic color scheme. Ah, that is too much. Maybe I kind of like it on soft light. I don't like it on hard light. Maybe I could have like parts of that lighting. I think that's pretty interesting. Let me see. Okay, glare. Probably do something like that. I don't know. It's tough to say at this point. Now I can also start adding like lighting. Thinking it'll be like ambient light from various things. I'm worried that this thing is all empty. Maybe some kind of console. Start giving these guys 3D shapes. Maybe gestures. Something like that. Yeah, little by little. Patching things in, patching things out. You know, winging it. Just winging it. Nice little shell spaceship there. I'm gonna flip it over and go crazy, yeah. It's about time for a flip. Oh, no, I have it. I come home too late. I'll probably check it out, like... I was gonna check it out, like, one of the days in the morning. But then I just started painting early instead. So usually I stream it at like 11 or at like 12, and then 20 minutes, 20 Mullins. I gotta watch it. I'm gonna do it. I just I'll watch it while eating, actually, like right now. That'll probably be good. Yeah, sorry, what's it called? I should have watched it earlier. Since you took the time to send it to me. I just like, I don't know, I get lost in time. Don't even remember what it's about. Brief overview of the Mullins method. I guess I'll use these sticks as like lighting utensils. That could be one way. One way I could decide to light it. Yeah, I have to draw in the flip version for a while, I think. Oh no, don't flip. Hold on. That's a little too far. Yeah, from the morning to now. I think there's a lot of stuff that I improved on. I think I could improve on a lot more stuff. I think there's still very many growth errors. I think it has a compelling like idea. The dock, you know, some kind of intergalactic spaceship place. I think I like crowds of people and things like that and holograms. And yeah, that'll be kind of cool, I think, and spaceships and all this other stuff. Once I get a lighting in, I think it'll look pretty interesting. Polygons equals top plane, side plane, front plane, under plane. I don't know what that is. That's like a lot of planes, but like top plane, side plane, under plane. No contrast inside shadows. Think about underlying anatomy. Darkest darks where light can't reach. Well, you need planes to make forms, so planes are probably very important. Unless he's talking about actual planes, in which case, like. Slice. I could go for a slice right about now. Yeah, I think I'll go watch that video now. Take a longer break to eat some food, cause I haven't been able to rush food into my mouth quick enough lately. So, thank you guys for coming by. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I think I might be going somewhere tomorrow, so might not see ya. But yeah, see ya.